Hi, folks. Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome to How to Handyma'am, the podcast where we use power tools or power through. In this week's episode, we talk about Christmas in February and the favorite things that we got. We talk about our love of show tunes and also whether or not power tools are going to be necessary for the projects you're tackling. I'm Samantha.
I'm Arly.
I'm Emily.
And this is How to Handyma'am. And this week's episode is dedicated to our friend Johanna, who is another badass woman in the trades running her own construction company.
Scale LLC.
Yes, so shout out to you, Johanna. She is not only intelligent and capable and incredibly talented, but she is also like an amazing human being. So we're so thrilled that we know you and that we have the opportunity to partner together. So yeah, Johanna, you're amazing.
Let's get into this.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yes.
Okay, I have a chatting topic, and I'm trying to remember what it is.
You have your chatting topic?
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so for Christmas, you have one guess each, two guesses each, about what Judy, which is my boyfriend's grandmother, got me for Christmas. Start.
Something bunny mom related.
No.
Something related to having a baby.
No.
Now the listeners are going to think she's pregnant.
No, but like grandmas are like, when are you having some babies?
Yeah.
Trying to think. Mac and cheese related?
No. That would be good, though. One more guess.
Art supplies.
No. It is a pink 5-gallon bucket.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That's what she got you for Christmas?
Yes.
That's
She
so
got me
perfect.
other stuff, too, but she put it all in a 5-gallon bucket.
I didn't know they
And
made
it was
pink ones.
They do. And I
Where'd
was
she get
so
it?
excited. Lowe's.
Well,
Apparently, they
Lowe's,
make
we're coming
mini
for ya.
pink 5-gallon buckets from Lowe's, too.
we should add it to our Lowe's storefront.
Is it pink for like breast cancer awareness?
I don't know what it's for.
Just
Okay.
pink for pink.
Pink for pink?
Yeah, but I was so excited I almost cried because I was like, this is perfect. I thought we could maybe laminate something, like our
vinyl
logo,
it up.
and I could put it on my bucket. And she was like, do you use those? And I was like, I use them all the time. But I was like, we're not using this bucket.
No.
You're like, this is special.
This is Arly's bucket.
This is Arly's bucket. Yeah. And then
I
she
would
got
never
me,
guess that, but that's so delightful.
she got me like a little pink, like cobalt thing too. And then my sister got me a purple one. So I have like 5 of them now. I have
Nice.
so many of those like little cobalt toolboxes.
I didn't know they made purple ones.
Oh, at first they only had, I think, a couple colors, but now they have like, Jay's got a camel one, and then black, white, gray, pink, purple, blue, green, red, yellow.
Amazing.
Because they make all the tool chests that are the colors too.
Cobalt does?
Yeah, they
I
have
thought
cute-
Cobalt only had blue stuff.
No, they have a pink tool chest.
Yeah,
But I
that's
kinda
the one
wanna
I'm
get for
talking
my
about. The one
craft
that like
supplies.
has like 2 drawers and then a lid.
But they have like the big guy, the big boy.
The big
Oh.
boy.
So this episode's going to come out in February, so this will be like hearkening back to Christmas for the
Yeah.
listeners. But what was your favorite Christmas present that you got? The one that maybe delighted you the most?
Seems like the pink bucket delighted
bucket.
Arly the most.
I don't know. I was very excited about a lot of them. Thomas got me yarn.
Nice.
And then my sister got me a label maker.
Oh, you needed that the most because there's been several times where the workshop.
We're like, where's
Label
the
maker.
label maker?
I know,
Whenever
I'm like-
Cher or Allison ask where the label maker is, my first response is ask Arly.
Yep.
I literally am
Yeah.
like, ask Arly.
I love the label maker. I love it so
We
much.
have a P-Touch label maker. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
I think it's by
It's
like
like the
Brother or
thermal-
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite
Like
Christmas
Sylvia.
present?
Oh,
Emily?
brother.
Yeah.
Well, you got me a lot of great vinyls, which is exciting. And Also, my aunt got me 2 light fixtures, and I'm going to do a video on swapping out one of my light fixtures. The other one you guys don't get to find out about because I have knob and tube wiring, and we cannot condone that you swap out light fixtures with knob and tube wiring. But I have been on a mission to conquer the boob lights of my household. It has been a long-going mission for the last 3 years. This is a reminder that renovations and, like, making your home perfect takes time. I hate things that are silver-colored, and I hate flush mount lights that look like boobies. And so I am conquering them. I have a light fixture for my kitchen, and now I have one for my office and my mudroom that I have to do. But I'll do the swapping out video.
We have a client, we'll call them H, who insists that they are not boob lights, they're titty lights.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
And very emphatically, and I think that's hilarious.
It's funny.
Speaking of renovations taking a long time, I conquered something that my landlord has been refusing to do for months and months and months.
It was something that my longest running employee was supposed to do before you moved in.
Yeah, but then I moved in.
Because I was like, wait, I'm not supposed to do it.
We turned this Hobbit area that was like, I have videos of it. I'll post.
It was the stairwell to the basement, basically.
And we
yeah.
cut a hole from
Scary murder
like
territory.
a dirt
yes.
wall basement.
Like, if you
Yes.
think where Harry Potter lived was bad,
That was the Four Seasons compared
Yeah.
to this.
Yes.
not just 4-season landscape, actual 4 seasons.
And this was yucky and dusty and stuff like that, so I really didn't want to do it.
But you did it!
I did it. Yeah, I did it. And it literally only took like a day. Honestly,
It only took a few hours.
anyway, it was like a hole, like literally you open this door and it's a hole down to the basement. And there's stairs, but you can't like use them because it's not like you open the door and that's where the stairs start.
What is that, into the middle of the staircase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
And
just like
so
looking over the middle of the
We
staircase.
put floor joists in and then a piece of plywood and then I just like cleaned it up in there and got rid of
Now
the
it's
spider webs and
storage.
stuff.
Have you
and now it's storage.
foamed the edges yet? Like to
I
keep
haven't.
spiders out?
I have not.
And
I
mice.
didn't get that far.
You should get pest block so that if they chew at it.
Oh, yeah. I was going to shove some, like, backer rod in some areas. I was going to do foam, but then I was looking around and the plaster's, like, falling off the walls, and I was like, what is currently the point of, fixing these seams when, like, there's, like, dust falling out from everywhere and stuff? So I was like, I'm just going to put stuff in here for now.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, maybe we can come back and, like, I don't know.
We could install paneling over the failing plaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that I thought
That's
we
a
could do.
classic 1970s move right
Yes,
there.
it is.
And you know what? I used to think, why would somebody put paneling on the wall? But I get it. I understand it.
Plaster is the worst thing we've ever demoed. I think it's worse than insulation.
Well, it's like drywall when it starts to get bad, just like pops away from the stud. But when plaster goes bad, it like starts coming out in chunks.
It's also like,
Yeah.
I'm going to avalanche on you if it's coming off at all, and then you go to demo it.
Yeah. The problem spreads.
What was your favorite Christmas present?
Everything Hamilton related.
Yeah.
So I got
We
tickets
went a
to
little
see
nuts.
Hamilton in Detroit, which I'm very excited about. And I got this book called, what was the one you got me? Hamilton Revolution? Is that what it was
That
called?
was for your birthday, but
It's
it's like the
basically
making of.
The making of the Hamilton musical, which I'm enjoying very much. Though I did discover I will have to wear my old lady readers to read it.
Oh, is it small?
It's too little for me. Like, I have to move it back. I have to read, like, right here because I can't see really close up. But then the letters are too small for me to read here. So, yes, I will have to wear my glasses. But I will enjoy it, every minute of it.
That's fun. Yeah, we went ham on the Hamilton stuff too.
We did.
This year.
Ham on the Hamilton.
And I got the John Adams biography
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Alexander Hamilton biography and the King George biography.
Speaking of Christmas, I have a story from Christmas Eve that I shall share with the listeners.
Do I know this one?
Yes, you do know this one. Because I called both of you distraught about what had happened. So picture this. Lemon and Patches, my sweet baby angels, aka my pets, do not have stocking stuffers. And I do not find that acceptable. So on Christmas Eve, I'm like, I'm going to go treat myself. I'm going to go get
I remember this story now.
I'm going to go get a little bit of Dunkin Donuts. I looked like a ragamuffin. And I was in sweats and a sweatshirt with holes in it. And I had not washed my hair in a few days. So just setting the scene of I looked...
You're like a little goblin in your car
I looked like a little goblin
donuts.
eating. And then all of a sudden, on my car window, outside of the Home Goods, I hear... I was like, oh no, not today. And I look over, and a lovely gentleman is like waving really nicely at me. And so I'm like, okay, this is fine. Just my car looks like I live in it because there's so much crap in it right now, and I'm kind of embarrassed.
It's the Christmas
But I rolled the window down, and he's like, are you the girl from the podcast? And I was like, that's not what I was expecting you to say. I thought you were going to ask about my Handyma'am on the truck, but no, he was on my car. He was like, you have a podcast. And like basically said, I saw you on Facebook this morning. I'm so excited to listen. And I was like, what do you mean I'm being perceived for the podcast?
You need an incognito car.
Yeah.
Well, I need an incognito face because he said he saw my face before he saw the ma'am, and then once he saw the Handyma'am,
He knew it was you.
he knew it was me, and I was like,
together.
Well, that's fun.
I mean, it's fun.
When you were telling me that story, I was making pies, which
Oh my gosh, you were crashing out about said pies.
It was. I am good at a lot of things, and being in the kitchen is just not one of those
And
things.
she was like, and I need to make a vegan one for my mom, and I need to make a gluten-free one for my sister, and then I have to make a normal one. And then I think you literally said, can you come over and make them? And I was like, I'm not going to Eaton Rapids, girl.
On Christmas Eve.
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then also, the crust is hard to make.
Yeah.
You have to have your butter really cold, otherwise it gets all flippity.
Okay,
yucky.
well, like, the thing is, it was really cold. It was very cold. I made sure, because that's
Did you
what
have
all
a
the
pastry
recipes...
cutter?
A what?
A pastry cutter?
No.
Just to cut butter into stuff?
No.
Oh, it like
I
looks
just
like
put it
little
in the
Wolverine
food
claws.
processor. That's what it told me to do.
That can sometimes over-process your dough.
Well, maybe that's what it did, because I was like, I literally had to take, like, spoonfuls of the dough.
Oh, and like squish it?
Yeah. It was really bad, friends. Anyway, you called me and you told me this as I was making pies, and I was like, first of all, how incompetent do I have to be to not be able to put flour and butter together and put it into a pie pan?
It's difficult.
It is very hard.
Yeah.
All right. Power to you if you can make pie crust. And then you called me and I was like, oh my God, did she almost get murdered?
Nope.
Nope, it was
So
a fun story.
That was the long.
It was
the
fun
longest
and
race,
equally
too.
terrifying. But if you see any of us in public, please say hi. I just am introverted. And I looked like a gremlin. So.
Yeah, so my husband, Jim, he never goes out in public looking like a gremlin. He just doesn't.
No, my husband doesn't either. I don't
They
know.
don't.
I mean,
And
our
sometimes
husbands are
early
more
in our
ladylike
marriage, he would
than
like
we are.
side-eye me like, you're going out looking like that. So sometimes I'm just like, I don't care. But since my husband is a pastor and a lot of people know us, like in the Kroger when I go there, I do have to think like, just how gremlin or goblin can I get away with being before I like see people I know and then turn around and run to the produce section, because I'm like, there'll be no coming back from this one.
You never looked that gremlin.
Oh, yesterday I was
You
like,
don't go out in peaches.
could I go? Yesterday I was like, could I get away with going out in my pajama bottoms? And I'm like, no, you cannot.
Here's
I
my life
almost
hack.
wore pajama bottoms today because they have little teddy bears on them.
Well, you can
I
come
have-
here in pajama bottoms.
I have pajama bottoms that are solid black.
Well,
I can wear
that's
them
fine.
in public because then
Yeah.
they're basically sweats, but they're comfier than sweats.
I wear mine long enough that then you can see through them. They get so worn out. Every year I get pajamas for Christmas because I just wear them into the ground. And then people are like, I can see your underwear through your pajama bottoms.
What
You need
people?
new pajama
It's
bottoms.
just Dad. Probably.
Dad and you guys.
I never tell you that.
People in Kroger.
Friend, she's kidding.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are we learning about today?
Today, we are going to talk about projects that you can or cannot do without power tools.
Oh, okay.
cool.
So we're going to go
That's
through...
a good, like, entry-level homeowner.
Yeah. So
thing.
we're going to go through... I'm going to name off some projects, and you guys will tell me if you think that we can do it with or without power tools.
Are we going to do like a MacGyvering?
Yeah, can it be done, or, like, should it be done?
I think we can do a little bit of both.
Okay.
We can talk about the scenarios where you really should need a power tool and where you can get away without it. Because for some of our listeners, they might not have a drill. They might not have any kind of power tool at all. And they're kind of expensive if you're only going to do a thing or two with them.
Mm-hmm.
Can I slide in the you can rent it when that's appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can talk about that too. But I'm going to pee first, and then we'll get back into the
Okay.
All right,
episode.
we'll be back. We'll be right back. Hi, folks. We're back from Arly's pee break and ready to learn.
Let me open my journal.
Well, I think we're kind of, she's presenting scenarios and we're teaching.
Oh, yeah. We're like
we can chat today about
unwitting teachers.
I have questions, but I also have answers.
Okay.
So I wrote down
You got it all.
some of the things that I thought while I was doing these.
So if we don't hit them, you'll cover them?
Yeah.
All right.
So
let's do it.
Except
today-
we're perfect, so I don't know.
I know.
I know you're not going to miss a thing. So we're going to go over a couple of things, scenarios and categories, I guess, of things you can do in your house and whether you need power tools or not.
Yep.
Where there's a will, there's a way, baby.
Usually that is the case. Okay, so let's start off with trim install. Power tools or no power tools?
Technically.
You
You
definitely
do
can
not
do
need
it
one.
without power tools, but
You
this
get-
is one of those situations where it's a lot easier.
But you get yourself a miter box, which I think costs like $15 at the store. And you do a hammer and nails, baby.
So, for those of you that don't know, a miter box is literally like a little, it can be wood, but most of them now are plastic that you would buy.
It's kind of U-shaped.
And it has different slots that you can put your hand wood saw in to tilt your saw at a 45 one way, a 45 the other, or other angles. So basically you put your trim inside the miter box, and then you put your saw in the correct angle that you want to cut, and then the slot guides your saw, keeps it in that angle. So when you need to cut 45 miters for the corners, you can use a miter saw for that. I mean, a miter box for that, but a miter saw is obviously
I have a free
easier.
version too. Home Depot, you can cut your own trim there with
Yeah.
a saw.
With their miter saw?
With not miter saw.
Oh, their hand saw?
Their hand saw. It sucks, but you can do it.
You can
Yeah,
do
you
it,
can
yeah.
do it.
It's really horrible.
People might not know you can actually buy trim by the foot at Home
Yeah.
Depot. It's the only place you can do that.
There's some, like, I don't think they're polystyrene, like PVC stuff.
Yeah, not
You
all
have
of
to,
them.
but it'll stay in the section. And also the price, if it says, like,
Per foot.
$2.98, it's like that's the
Per foot, yeah.
So some, like, for some design projects, I'll actually get, like, 1 foot sections of trim just so it's easier to do that. But I will admit to y'all, the Home Depot saw is really dull usually. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally sweating in the Home Depot aisle, like,
They do have a miter saw, and I've actually asked before if they can cut things in half. Like 16-foot things,
Yeah.
they can cut it in half so I can fit it in my car. I don't think... Maybe they didn't let me use it because I'm a small woman, or if they just
I
only
think they're
allow...
legally not allowed
Yeah,
to.
that makes sense.
So they cut it for you. So you might not be able to go in with specific measurements, but maybe depending on the
actually-
employee.
Have a time where I trimmed something out without any power tools.
Oh, let's hear it.
I and my first apartment with my husband really wanted a frame TV
Oh, yeah.
and cannot do that. I was definitely balling on more of a budget than I am now, but that is still out of budget. It's
Yeah.
like $1,300 for a 24-inch one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I used a miter box and I hand cut these little pieces of trim, and then I used command strips and attached it to the TV. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
very well could have. Oh, I also trimmed out the bathroom mirror that we had there. So
So let's
it can
get,
be done.
let's get back to your question and give a simple example. So if you're in your house and you want to install baseboards, you're going to want to be able to cut 45-degree angles on your board.
And butts, probably.
Well, maybe.
joints.
Well, but you're going to need to cut your wood and you're going to need to hammer it in. So the tools we use, if we're using power tools, would be a miter saw and a nail gun. And the benefit of a nail gun is you can set it, it will set the depth of your nail and it will sink it below the surface for you. If you do it by hand, as we mentioned, you use a miter box to cut the angles of your boards, and then you have to use finish nails and pound them in with a hammer. And then this harkens back to episode 1 where we talked about a nail punch, which is basically, it looks like a little metal pencil, and you can put the head of it on the head of your nail, and then you hit the back of it with a hammer, and that will sink your nails just below the surface.
Otherwise, you'll have a hammerhead size.
Yeah. You can't hammer your nails below the surface without making the shape of the hammer in your wood. Yeah. So those are the tools that you would need. So you definitely can do it without power tools. It just is easier with power tools.
Yes, I agree. The only caveat I have to being able to do that is if you have, say, oak trim, or even, I'd say maybe any wood. A lot of trim, it's going to be hard to get a nail into your wood without pre-drilling first. Especially if you're like new to using like a nail and a hammer. It will be a little hard. In some stuff like oak quarter round, it might split the wood if you don't pre-drill first.
I have hit myself in the hand many a time with the hammer. But if you hold it with like needle nose pliers or something, it's already ready to be guided in. And
If you hold your nail with your needle nose pliers, and then
or any pliers, but it allows you to get a start without
putting your hand in the way of the hammer. And I will say that before we became handy 6 years ago, I kind of thought about a nail is a nail is a nail. Like I had an image in my head of what a nail is, and I would totally have tried to install my baseboard with like just your standard nail with a head on it. So I think it would be common for people to make the mistake of using nails that are thicker than they need to be for putting trim in. The thinner,
and therefore harder to get in. Too.
Yes, a lot harder.
Yeah, the thinner the nail, the less likely it will split your baseboard when you pound it in.
Yeah, but if you only have a drill and you're trying to install baseboard, it's going to be a lot easier to nail things in if you do a quick pre-drill. It doesn't even have to be large, but if you do a quick pre-drill, your nail will go exactly in the direction you want it, and it'll be so much easier to get in.
And you want to drill it smaller than the circumference of your whatever nail you're using.
So probably with finished nails, it'd be an itty-bitty one.
Yeah, and the easiest way to figure that out is you can lay your nail right next to, you can hold your nail right next to your drill bit and then just look at it. And you can see if the drill bit is smaller than the circumference of your nail.
And you can technically install trim with screws as well. Like if you only had a drill and you didn't have a nail gun. It's just we don't do it because it's kind of overkill.
And it's ugly.
And it's harder.
It's a lot harder to fill over the head.
If that's the only power tool you have and you're struggling, you might as well screw it in.
I will say though, the reason I wouldn't do that is when you need to pull that trim off, you're going to think it's in there with nails, and you're going to be trying to pry it out of your wall.
Yeah,
that might be the next owner's problem.
All right, I would say with trim, it is you'd be, unless you're in like some desperate need to cover like maybe a gap that's getting air inside or out, I would say wait until you have a better plan than using screws into it. But if you're desperate, sometimes that's all you got. So I said yes, you can do it without power tools. I thought you could do it with glue. And a lot of times you could glue your baseboard or your trim
some
or
baseboards
like that.
get glued. That's what they like.
So
rubber cove molding.
Not needing to do that. Some cove molding and quarter round is actually cuttable with scissors. It's kind of like a rubbery material.
Yeah.
I used it on like my shower threshold because water kept coming out, so I got like a bendable cove molding, and I put it around there, and I just cut it with scissors, and then it came with adhesive on the back of it already.
Nice.
And so that I didn't need anything for. And I thought
also make miter shears.
Yeah, they do.
if you're cutting like quarter round.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're pretty cheap. So, like, if
Yeah,
your
they're like
room looks
15 bucks.
unfinished at the bottom, like where you're gapping on floor and you only need to install quarter round, it's...
Yeah, you can get shears for, I don't know, $15, and then you can get PVC quarter round and a couple tubes of adhesive.
Yeah.
And you could, there's a lot of stuff you can do. If you're going to do your entire house with maybe a bigger baseboard, 3 or 4 or even 5 inches, I would say invest in, if you have an entire house to do.
Or rent.
Yeah, or rent it,
Yep.
But get the power tools, either borrow it from a friend or rent it or, purchase it if you think you're going to use it again, or purchase it and then sell it on Facebook Marketplace if you have a lot to do. Or, if you have little pieces, it's easy enough to cut with a coping saw, but, or in your miter box, and something smaller, but more things, it's just going to be...
Bottom line is, you can do it if you don't have the tools.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're going to want to think ahead. If you don't have those power tools, it's going to be easier to cut butt joints. So it might be better for you to get a very plain square profile trim. So then you can just cut butt joints. You don't have to worry
Which
about
is a
mitering.
straight joint.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to a handrail from Amazon. Can you do that without power tools?
Is it metal or wood?
I was thinking the one that we normally
Like the
use.
2-step one?
Yeah, the 2-step metal one.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I said no.
Even if you could like manually screw the lag screws in, which you could, you can't do that without pre-drilling a hole. Like,
Yeah.
So regardless, you're going to need
And
power
if
tools.
concrete is in the picture.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what I
100%.
said.
Hammer drills are more expensive than normal drills, which you
Mhm.
can't... Some people have told me that you can use normal drills and your impact. First of all, it destroys the chuck of your drill, which is the part that actually spins it. So I really don't recommend it. But also, it will take you literally 12 years.
Yeah,
but you can rent a hammer drill, which I think would be a great application for renting, because if you're not like us, where we need to install handrails like that over and over and over, so to us it makes sense to own it. That's one tool that I don't think you necessarily need.
You wouldn't in the normal course of things, no.
Yeah. If you need to install a handrail, which it's cold outside right now, and
Sorry.
we've been installing handrails. And if you notice that some steps are slippery, maybe you need to go over to your parents' house or your grandparents' house or something, or even for yourself, and install something. If you have concrete, even if you don't, you can rent a drill and an impact and buy a $50 handrail and get that done to be safe.
We like the ones that are adjustable, and it'll say in the listing if it is adjustable, and it's basically just hinged at either end.
Yeah, kind of
So-
teeter-totters.
We'll ask Thomas to splice in a picture of that one that we're talking
I love
about.
the splice.
I like the splicing. I want to invite you, listeners, as you're listening to this, if you have like a what the heck do I do for a handrail in this situation kind of situation, is take a picture of it and put it on the How to Handyman Facebook group, and we'll tell you
Or you
what
can
the
email
options
us
are.
at hthm@myhandymam.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do like a video response.
Yes. All right. What's next?
And
Okay.
we want to help you. So if you
Yes,
have
we do.
questions and you're like, should I send it in to them? Yes.
Please
the
do.
answer is
Yes,
yes.
If you have the question,
You don't even have to say anything.
loads of other people have the question too.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I mean,
think
they
of
could
it.
open the email with, "You're the most beautiful, wonderful humans I've ever met in my life."
Well, naturally they would, but they don't have to say anything else, you know. Okay, click and lock flooring.
I just got like hives. I don't like installing a click and lock flooring.
Oh,
You can do it without power tools.
When we started, we didn't do it with power tools because we had our snippy snapper.
Yeah.
That's the super technical name for that thing.
Besides a multi-tool, I have never used any power tools with click and lock flooring.
Do you think you could undercut door frames with a coping saw?
You could do it with a chisel and a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
We have done
But
that,
you can
haven't we?
also you can trace your trim, and you can cut in your flooring with a coping saw. But I don't even use that floor thing. I feel like it takes too much time. It's basically like a floor plank guillotine.
It's like a paper cutter.
Oh yeah, that's a good
floors.
guillotine.
It is
Slide
called
it in
a floor snapper, a flooring snapper. But ours, we have the brand, the Brutus brand, which is so funny. And sometimes you really have to Brutus on it. One time I hit it. I did it so hard that I fell over top of it and smacked my head on the ground. So maybe be careful. That's more
This is
funny.
episode 436 of Emily is Clumsy.
There's a reason they stuck me in an office chair. They're like, this is a liability.
Yeah, like, you can't get hurt in here. She's like, well, watch me.
Yeah.
Now there is some
special...
Sorry. There is some types of flooring, like peel and stick, that you can cut with a utility knife.
Yeah.
So if you're kind of like thinking, how can I do this? Like, my laundry room floor is hideous and I want to cover it. We've heard great things about peel and stick. So we don't install it in clients' houses just because it's hard to warranty that it won't come up. But in your own house, like...
If you're going to install any flooring, the one recommendation I would have is not... I mean, obviously you're going to look up how do I install it, but put your most research into what is the proper preparation for this kind of flooring.
Yeah, that's a great
Because
tip.
nearly all flooring that fails because of what's going on underneath the flooring.
Yeah.
So sometimes that means a primer on your floor, or sometimes that means a special kind of adhesive, sometimes that means leveling the floor or making
your
it flat.
flooring will say it has an allowance, like
How much
it
it
can
can
have
flex.
this much change in this amount of space before it'll unsnap.
Yeah.
So
So the prep work. And we won't go into that here, but just know that
we
the
can talk
preparation
about
for
it.
flooring is very important.
the preparation for pretty much every job, I think we've come to the conclusion that the prep is honestly the most important part. It's kind of like with a marathon, it's not like you just marathon run. And like you just did
It's
it.
the months and months and months of prep for it.
So obviously it's not months and months and months of prep, but if you think about a lot of stuff you need to prep to have success, like in our painting series, we talk about prep because you need to prep to make sure your paint sticks on the wall. So.
Yeah. I, with click and lock flooring, I always just use a square, a pencil, and a knife.
A utility knife?
Yeah. And then if I didn't have like a multi-tool, I would use probably a coping saw.
This is kind of random, but how quickly does your blade go dull when you do that?
Not very.
You're just scoring it, right?
It's mostly drywall that makes blades
drywall.
go
Drywall.
Well,
really
and it doesn't even necessarily make them dull. It like sticks to them.
Yeah.
It kind of crummies it up. But basically, I just draw a line, and then it kind of depends. Because sometimes if it's going to be underneath the baseboard and I have a big allowance, I'll just cut it with my utility knife, and I don't really need to mark it or anything. And then you can put your square up to it, and you can just cut your line, and you just need to score it how you would drywall, basically. And then you snap it, and on the back side it usually has kind of like that padding. And then I just cut that with my utility knife too, and it just cuts right through. So I don't think I think you can do that without any power tools. And some things obviously are going to be a little bit more difficult. It's harder to cut with a coping saw than it is to cut with like a multi-tool, but doable.
I know
Definitely
you
doable.
said that you use a multi-tool if you are using a power tool for it, but I also like a jigsaw. And I know quite a few people actually have a jigsaw.
Yeah,
That's
I do.
true, yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I don't think it's harder to get as precise a cuts, but the one nice thing about a jigsaw is if you're not super familiar with like how the blade moves and stuff, the jigsaw has some flex where like a multi-tool doesn't have as much flexibility. So that's just if you have a jigsaw laying around. So.
Yeah, I think in that application you can use them pretty interchangeably.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's do backsplash, like tile backsplash.
I think in many cases it's absolutely possible to do it without power tools. And the one power tool that we frequently use is a tile saw. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the caveat, is that there are some tiles that have to be cut with a wet saw, and you don't have an option. But oftentimes a backsplash is subway tile, which can be scored and snapped.
Yeah, and the snappers are quite inexpensive,
They
actually.
are. Yeah,
remember we hadn't used one at all. And then
I feel
was
like it was like $25 or $30.
It was $25 or $30, and I was like, this is amazing.
That was, honestly, the tile snapper was a game changer. The only thing that I have about that is that you might need a power saw. Is if you have L or U-shaped cuts on one of those subway tiles, which you often do if you have
at the corners
outlets.
of the windows.
Yep.
Often the tiles go around them like this. Sometimes you can plan to have it not be like that, but
it's hard to do that sometimes.
It is hard to do that, yeah.
If you don't want to rent anything, because you can rent a tile saw and cut, you can do an entire backsplash. You can do 1,700 backsplashes if you rent a tile saw. And then you don't really need, you don't always need to use mortar. You can use muscle bound. We can do a video about that.
Yeah, muscle bound just is an adhesive tile mat.
Yeah, it's basically like a giant
It's for
double-sided
non-wet
sticker.
or non-floor application.
Yep.
So perfect
not for the
backsplash.
floor, not for wet areas,
Yeah.
but perfect for backsplash.
But you can also see if maybe your friend has a Dremel. You can get a little tile bit for your Dremel.
Oh, it smells so bad.
It does smell bad, but there are, those little garden sprayers.
Yeah.
I've seen people use those with that thing because they like barely even hold it.
It works well.
Yeah, I thought one person, I think they like zip tied the nozzle, I guess, to something, and then it like they like hooked it on their tool or their hand or something, and it just followed their blade. So you have like the wet, so you don't have like it in the air or whatever, but you can do that. And then also, if you don't want to do any of that, if you use small format tiles like that come in a mat, those small penny tiles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially the penny, like the true round penny tile.
Yes. Little octagons like that, you can use a tile nipper to cut them. And they're not always perfect cuts. I mean, you're basically using like a glorified like nail snipper,
Yeah.
And you're cutting the tiles, but you can get it done with that. I've used those before, and it's all right.
But we've said it before, and we'll say it again. It doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful.
Right.
That's so true.
Also,
so true.
I'm full of little tips today, I guess. But my little tip is if you cut around an outlet and it doesn't look great, switch to jumbo outlet covers.
Yes.
There is such a thing as a jumbo outlet cover. I think it maybe like half an inch bigger or something.
Yeah.
You can get them like much bigger.
They don't look weird.
They don't
or
look
anything.
any different.
No,
But
they don't.
if you're like, ugh,
If you
I
cut
can
it like
see a little bad.
an eighth or a quarter of an inch too big, you can take care of that.
Or
yeah.
if you just like, if you have small format tiles, so you, like it's just the edges, you don't actually cut it. Friends, go get a jumbo tile.
Yeah. Those are great. And you can definitely do backsplash on your own. Think about how many outlets you have to cut around, how many light switches you have to cut around, and if you have any like outside corners that you won't be able to hide. A couple things to think about, but really that is super easy to do on your own, and you really don't need any
And
power
if you
tools.
don't want to do like tile edging, which we use metal tile edging or tile edging, you can also put a piece of trim on the end. That's
And they
what
have
we didn't know
pencil
about tile edging in
my kitchen.
in her kitchen, and so it has a cutie little piece of trim on top of it, and I like the look of it.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, it does. There's also pencil tile.
Yeah.
Which is super cute.
And easy to snap on a tile snapper.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is a drywall patch.
Yeah, I don't think
You don't need any power tools for that.
I agree. I don't think you need any power tools.
One thing I really like if I'm doing drywall is a drywall poke saw, which is just like a longer saw blade that comes with a handle, and they're pretty inexpensive, especially at like Menards. And I just say that because sometimes you want to cut the patch a little more so that if you're...
So it's straight.
Yeah, so it's straight. And I found that's... We usually use a multi-tool, but I found that hand tool works pretty well.
Yeah, it's called I don't know if it's officially called a saw, but my brother Lou called it a poke saw. Basically because you go to drywall and the end of it is like a little dagger.
It's actually
you poke
very
it
sharp.
and
Ask me how
then
I
the
know.
rest of it is serrated. So you but you can get a perfect start because of the little bayonet on the end of it.
I bet you could use a steak knife too.
Please don't.
I bet you could.
Put
if
it
you
in.
didn't want to
put
buy
it back
thrift
in.
a
Someone's
steak knife.
trying to cut their steak, and it's just
No, don't. If you're going to use it on drywall, please maybe don't use it in your kitchen again. But you could probably thrift a steak knife.
I think you could.
Or an estate sale would be a perfect
that
place.
would be perfect.
I bet you'd find a poke saw at an estate sale.
I bet you.
Yeah.
Poke saw,
you'd find a
steak
steak knife.
You could even beaver chew it if you really need
Oh,
to.
geez.
And if it's a medium size, a medium size patch, you can usually get a couple of drywall screws into a stud with like a screwdriver.
Hold
it's
on.
difficult, but you can do it.
This is essential. I need to find out. There's this patch I love called a flex patch. I need to find the brand. That it is. Okay. It's called a straight flex 8-inch by 8-inch large drywall patch.
Oh yeah, we used
And-
those before.
Oh yeah.
These are my favorite. They come with little holes that you can like cut out the outlet hole or whatever you need to do.
Mhm.
But they're flex, as they say. They're super thin and flexible, but they have a certain like texture to them. So once you skim mud or spackle or whatever, it basically hardens like the wall. And
it's
so,
it's got like a hard interior plastic almost.
this one doesn't. This one's just completely flexible.
Well, you can cut it with your scissors, but it's like thick enough because it has like a thin like plastic or PVC inner side. Those I actually really do love those.
I don't love the metal drywall patches because I think
Yeah.
they're hard to blend in.
You have to float the mud out a long way to cover those.
But that's why I like these because they're maybe not even a 1/16 of an inch thick, and
Yeah,
so
they're
it's
quite
super
thin.
easy to like blend it in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, changing a toilet.
You do not need any power tools.
Actually, it's not recommended you use power tools on toilet bolts and stuff because you don't want to go too far because you'll either crack the porcelain,
It's really easy to over
pull it
tighten.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I agree. Well, actually, our toilet episode has been out for a little while, but
Yeah.
if you haven't listened to our toilet episode, we talk about toilet issues and how easy it is to really change a toilet yourself. And
it's just a little grody, but it doesn't take
yeah,
much skill.
if your subfloor, which is the floor like right above the joists,
Your structural
your
floor.
structural
Yeah,
floor. If that's intact and not like, as long as your feet aren't falling through it, you should be able to do all of that without any power tools. And you really don't even need any.
Sometimes a drill is nice if you have to do like something with the flange or anything.
Yeah.
But honestly, most of the time we don't use any power tools.
No,
No,
The
we
one
don't.
tool I would
rarely-
recommend is some Lysol disinfectant.
Yes. And don't forget to caulk the bottom of your toilet. Everything except for the last 2 inches in the very back. And you can get a squeezable caulk.
Yeah, you don't even need a caulk
You don't
gun.
even need a caulk gun. Yeah, you can use those, and they have great little caps on them. You can put it in your drawer and not think about it
Ooh,
for another couple
going
months.
back to the baseboard, you can even buy construction adhesive in one of those squeezy tubes if
Yeah.
you don't want to buy a
Oh,
caulk gun.
You can also do DAP. I actually linked a lot of that in our Lowe's storefront too.
Yeah.
So you guys can find that stuff pretty easily.
And even if you don't have a Lowe's nearby, it might give you like an idea of what to look for at like your
Yeah.
local.
Yeah, you'll be
Sometimes
able to see
trying to find
exactly.
it too is knowing what it's named.
Yeah.
So if you look it up in the Lowe's storefront, you're like, oh, that's called a tile nipper or whatever. And
Yeah.
then you know the name of it, and then it's easy to find it somewhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Reinstalling a door.
Reinstalling. So it's already. So I like take it off and to do something, and then I want to do something.
Yeah, or it was like, just sitting there when you bought the house. And
It's
you're
not
gonna
super
put it
fun,
in.
but you can do it with a
You
screwdriver.
can. It just sucks a lot.
And if you need to like redo the latch, you can do it with a chisel and stuff.
Yeah.
But it just
Most hinges
such
have
dookie.
3 or 4 screws. So you can do 3 hinges worth of 3 or 4 screws with a hand screwdriver. It just
Ratcheting screwdriver might make it
ratcheting
easier.
screwdriver for the win. There you go.
And you
Yeah.
can get a cheap one for like $15, which is a lot cheaper than a drill. I will tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I said. And if you're alone, you can use a book or a shim or something to put underneath the door. Because it is hard to hold your door and screw that first screw in.
Yep.
I would recommend if you're going to do that, put something underneath your door.
Yep. That'll hold
And
the
then
door.
you can
Put multiple somethings. One
Yes,
on
yes.
each side.
So it's
'cause
not
otherwise it
wobbly. Yeah, so you don't you know, but I would put a screw in the top hinge, a screw in the bottom hinge, and then you should be good to just screw in the rest of them at your own leisure.
Can you tell me what this official tool is called? I call it a whoopee cushion that goes under the door, but do you remember what it's actually called?
Those are the same things that they put on people when they're like bleeding out.
You pump it up and it
I don't know what
because we used it for door installs.
It might be called a door pillow.
Yeah, because
you slide it under and then you pump it up with the thing that's like when you get your blood pressure taken, like the little bulb, you pump it up and it will do micro adjustments. If your door needs to go a little higher, little higher, little higher,
and it's like something you can do and have it at the far corner of the door while you're kind of like holding it, and it kind of creates another human basically.
So I have one quick tip. If you're going to take your door off to paint it, which is a pretty common thing that homeowners do, don't unscrew the hinges. Just take the hinge pin out.
Yeah.
Because you can just pop that out, just boop, 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 those three. Because then it's so much easier when you go to put the door back in. You just have to line it up and then pop the pin back in. It's so much easier.
Sometimes it's hard to get it out. And my favorite thing is to use a flathead screwdriver that I no longer care about to, like with a hammer.
You put it underneath and hammer it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, those are great tips.
Also, careful how many coats you put on the end of your door.
Or you won't be able to close it anymore.
Yeah. We'll have to do an episode about
people
doors.
might need to take notes this session.
There's lots of there's at least a couple of dozen little baby things that to do with a door to adjust it to make it work properly. And it could be any one or a combination of those things when your door's not working properly, but most doors can be repaired and put back in service.
Yeah, it's very rare that we've had to replace entire doors. And I feel like that's usually when it's a hollow core door.
Yeah,
and
those
it's
are
been
hard.
like hockey player shoved into type situation. Most of the time you can fix your doors to get them working for you.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, door handles.
You don't need power tools. It can make life easier to pre-drill the holes, especially for the spring latch that goes in the skinny part of the door. So, but no, you absolutely can do it with a screwdriver.
I mostly do it with a screwdriver.
Yeah,
because sometimes I have a tendency to go a little ham with the drill, and I over-tighten stuff.
Yeah, most of the directions when you get a door handle say not to use a drill anyway. You maybe if you have a very hard wood door and you're having trouble getting your screws in, you might need to ask a friend if you can borrow their drill to pre-drill. But when it comes to putting in those screws, putting them in and hand tightening them is the way
I
to
will
go.
say, anyone who's ever put a doorknob knows that you have two pieces and you put them through opposite sides of the door and they come together and then you tighten screws. So however thick your door is, that's how long, your screws are plus a little bit. And so it can be annoying to tighten them by hand. But one of the reasons why you don't want to use a drill with a screwdriver bit in it is because, and ask me how I know, once you get close enough where the drill is next to the doorknob, the drill spinning will actually mar your doorknob.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then it's a big fat bummer.
Yeah. So.
And almost all of the screws in the door handle hardware are going to be Phillips, and Phillips are so easy to strip out.
They are, yeah.
And a handle, if you take care of it, is something that you can have for a long time. And you can repair them. You can, switch little pieces inside of them, get a new latch plate, whatever, and you can still use the mechanical part of the door handle. But if you strip out your screws, then you're going to have to do a lot of work to get them out if you ever need to adjust your door.
So you got to be gentle.
We should do another episode that's love it or list it, but it's fix it or trash it.
Oh,
I have that on my list.
That would be so fun.
Maybe we'll do that next
That might be more visual, maybe for a video, but you can see can this be fixed? This should be trashed.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, one more.
Okay.
Hanging heavy things on your wall. Confession time. I have done it without power tools. I do not recommend, but I've done it.
It can be done without. There are some really heavy things where it's difficult to put the fastener in the wall without a power tool. because it just takes so long to get it to like the a butterfly toggle bolt. It takes so long, like you have to screw it so far to get it to like collapse against the wall. But yeah, most things. And you can use, this is one thing where like I'm not a nail hater. There are some things where a good chonky nail going into a stud, if your thing you're hanging only requires one point to hang, then a good chonky nail going into a stud with a hammer.
I actually have a set of curtain rods that are nail install.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen those actually. Quick tip is right around your window, like right around that trim, unless you have like gigantic trim, is almost always going to have a stud in it.
That's a great point.
Because when they frame out your window, it doesn't matter how big your window is or anything. There's going to be studs going up each side, a stud underneath, and a stud on the top.
Ooh, same with doorways.
Yep.
And if you have an outlet or a light switch in your wall,
there will be a stud on one side or the other. And you almost always can tell by just take off the switch plate cover, and then you can look in and see where the stud is.
Yeah. But I said you don't need power tools because they have a lot of different options out there for people who don't have power tools. They have anchors that you can hammer in, and then either you hand screw in like whatever is in the hammer anchor thing. And some anchors you can put in without pre-drilling first. And I mean, I guess you could get a little creative when it comes to getting a hole made in your wall for an anchor. But they have a lot of different ways that you can hang things without needing a drill.
My caveat would be if you have plaster walls, I would be careful.
Yeah, if you have plaster walls, do a little bit more research.
Just because plaster has the unique ability to chunk out of the wall. Yeah. And it's very frustrating when this
It's weird. A lot of times screws are like preferential, but nails are actually better in plaster walls because they make one fine entry point that does not expand. Like it's not like having threads on a screw where as you turn it, you know, you have the threads that are kind of pushing in. So a lot of times with plaster walls, a nail will do the trick.
Yeah. Is there any other things that you can think of that maybe people wouldn't expect they can do without power tools?
It's really extremely difficult, but you can install a storm door without power tools.
You can, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
You can change a light fixture without power tools.
Actually, you probably
100% of the time
really
you can
use power tools.
A lot of the plumbing you can do in your own house, you could do without. You can change out like your P-trap. You can put in a new faucet.
Yeah, new faucet.
You can do a lot of that without it.
Yeah, because you really just need a wrench with a lot of those. So.
Yeah, and some of the P-trap stuff is hand tighten.
Yeah, they say, please don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. This stuff's good. It just triggers so many. Like I want to tell everybody about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
About oh my gosh, socket wrench.
Guys, we don't have words today. What is happening?
Yeah, instead of using a pair of, like, growing up, we used pliers to turn, like, a hex head bolt or a hex head screw. But they make socket wrenches where you just put the socket with that shape over it and then go ring, 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 ring,
way
ring.
easier.
Yeah,
I also really like vice grips.
I love vice grips.
Vice grips have a very specific use.
Yes. It's a set of pliers that you snap lock.
Yeah, they can lock into place.
And you like adjust them to perfectly do it.
Yeah.
And I love them for plumbing for this reason. Because if you have if you have a connection point that's really stuck on there, sometimes I'll grab myself 2 vice grips and I'll go in different directions at the same time to yank it out.
So you can get nice pressure and but you're not going to have any risk of your pliers slipping.
Yeah.
Because when they slip, that's when you strip off the edges of your hex head bolt.
Like the worst
and then
thing.
it gets to the point where you cannot turn it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's such a good tip. Ooh, I can't wait to tell people all about those kinds of tools.
Yeah, and all the little tools we talk about, look at state sales. I know we've said it a lot, or your local Habitat Restore, but they're also just relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, hand tools.
Hand tools are amazing.
They are. You can do a lot with hand tools. And I mean, it's only probably been like a couple decades since we've really had a lot of access to power tools.
Yes.
And people did just fine before then. And yes, it is hard, but you know what? If you only have $20 to your name and you need to fix something, you can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than if you had a power tool, but you know what? You can do it.
And if you want to put specific, can I do this without power tools questions in the group, just like we mentioned other things earlier, if you have questions about can I do this without a power tool or what tool do I need to do this, just put it in the group or email us and we'll answer that question.
Yeah, I had one last thing. I know we've been talking about a bunch of tools. We did do, our first episode was on cheap versus quality. But I did want to say, if you can only afford the cheap version, like Harbor Freight has a lot of inexpensive tools and stuff, if that's in your area, that sometimes if you're not going to use it a lot, the cheap version is going to perform just as well. So we have a lot of opinions about getting the quality version, but a lot of it's because we bought the cheap version first and broke it. So Adam Savage, who's one of the Mythbusters guys, has a quote or talks about how you should buy the cheap version, and if you break it, then you know that you use it enough to be able to afford the expensive one.
Yeah.
So, but things like Ryobi has a really good entry level small miter saw, things like that. You can get, you don't have to get DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, like these really high-end brands. And then if it breaks, then you know that you used it enough to break it.
Yeah,
So,
unless you broke it the first time that you used it, and then you should go back to the store with your receipt.
Take it back,
Yes, and tell them that this is not worth any amount of money, and then you can buy the more expensive version or the more quality
part
version.
of handy-mamming is knowing that where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, figure it out.
We have done stuff literally the hardest possible way, and we try to have you not have to, but sometimes you might have to. And
yeah, I mean, if you know, can only get a couple of cheap tools and you are just going to do the best with what you got, then, like, even if technically there isn't a way to really do the project without power tools, let us know. And we will find a way to help fix your problem without power tools.
That's
or
pretty
without
much the last
something that
6
you need.
years we've spent time figuring out how to do things that seemed like they could not be done.
Yes, yeah. And usually it's because it's hard, it's labor intensive, and somebody doesn't want to pay you to do something that is so labor intensive for the small payout. But if it's your own home and it's your own time, it's sometimes worth it, especially because, like I'm not in the 1%, so, like, sometimes we just got to get things done.
That's right.
So thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,
and
thank
we can't
you.
wait for next time. And we will be talking about something delicious and amazing. And
if you want to find us, you can find us at How to Handyma'am on pretty much all platforms. If you, and then what should they do once they finish listening to this episode?
You should. If you love what we're trying to do and want to help us continue to do it, you should rate, review, and subscribe. And any of the places you listen are great, but Apple Podcasts really rewards us if you rate, review, and subscribe there. And those are the kinds of places that industry folks look to see if you're worth showing to other people.
As of this recording date, January 2nd, we've been on the charts for 15 days straight, and that's because of you guys.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Like hearing fun stuff like that, like, we've had this streak on the charts. You can help us do that.
yeah.
And then you're part of it.
Even if you're not a beginner and, you know, you're an experienced DIYer and you still want to support us, you know, follow us and help us get out to the other people, because this isn't just education. It's a purpose to bring more education to more women out there. So extending, you know, adding it to your playlist, even if it's not something that you really need to know because you've already figured some of this stuff out, follow us so that we can help the people who haven't.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thanks, everybody.
We love you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Mwah. Mwah.